Hey all, I wanted to give a quick update on my casting Mistweaver playstyle now that the Fury Incarnate patch is here and the new Manatee is here to stay. A quick recap, these are my two main talent setups, one for Raid and one for Mythic Plus, both of which I'm including in the description below. My Raid build is based around using Yu'lon roughly every minute, or as close to that as possible depending on damage patterns. During its uptime, I spam Enveloping Mist for most, if not all of its duration, and if there's any healing still needed afterwards, I end with either a fully upwelled Essence Font or a mix of Vivify and other spot healing. I can make a pseudo cooldown out of a few stacked amplifiers, like Xiaohao's Lessons, Secret Infusion, and a few Enveloping Mists to get some healing multipliers circulating, or even a partially upwelled Essence Font, and I keep Clouded Focus as a decent fallback even though I'm not a big fan of that playstyle. My Mythic Plus build is mostly the same, replacing Upwelling with Focused Thunder so I can cast 2 Empowered Enveloping Mists back to back for some snap healing, and replacing Xiaohao's Lessons with Veil of Pride for an on-demand full group heal more than once a minute. Notably, both builds include Calming Coalescence and Chrysalis for a stronger, more frequently available Life Cocoon, which gets lots of use on tanks in both settings. The talent Spirit of the Crane is gone, which was never a really good fit for a casting Mistweaver since it involves melee attacks, and the new Manatee is more than I could have hoped for, to the point that I've completely shifted from full crit burst to full crit haste. If there's enough healing needed, I'll even spam hard casts of Enveloping Mist when I'm between cooldowns, since Tear of Mourning helps it distribute a little bit of smart healing to the group. As much as I wanted to take the new Life Cycles talent, I don't like how long the Manatee channels at high stacks, even though it's possible to cancel early, so I'm running Energizing Brew instead. If mana becomes an issue again after I lose the Aberrus 2-piece and the Rashok trinket in 10.2, maybe I'll switch, but for now, Energizing feels like the more comfortable play, and I'm all for ease of play. Now I want to talk about the 10.2 changes, at least the ones we're looking at this very early stage of the PTR. For my own reasons, I've been extremely resistant to the Season 2 playstyle, which combines Rising Mist and Clouded Focus, so personally I'm glad we might be moving away from that, based on the way a lot of these changes would affect it. Since I run Chrysalis and Calming Coalescence, I don't think a 33% buff to Life Cocoon is going to be that noticeable, but a buff's a buff, so I'll take it. The 100% buff to Burst of Life is interesting though, more for Mythic Plus than for Raid, since you can make a Cancel Aura macro to trigger it early if you'd like. I still think I'd rather take Chrysalis for the reduced cooldown and keys, but it's nice to have options. And the buff to Soothing Mist is definitely welcome, hopefully affecting our statues, Soothing Mist as well. And I'm expecting it'll make Unison a far more attractive talent in the future, even if I decide to stick with Mending Proliferation or something else entirely. I'm a little disappointed by the Enveloping Breath nerf, but I'm hoping the buffs to Invigorating Mist and Vivify will make up for it when it comes to overall healing. Finally, I don't really talk about fist weaving in my videos, but Ancient Teaching's range being increased from 30 to 40 yards, and the shrinking of Ancient Concordance into a single point talent makes it a lot easier to dabble in fist weaving, without losing out on anything major in the bottom third of the Mistweaver tree. Nothing further to say on that, just that there's looking to be even more wiggle room if you prefer a hybrid build or want to dabble one way or the other. Now I want to move on to tier bonuses. They are nice. Starting with the 2-piece, Renewing Mist and its jumps apply Chi Harmony, increasing healing taken by affected targets by 50% for 8 seconds. I've got both fingers crossed that this will track on default raid frames, but at the same time I don't want to hold my breath. It actually makes a pretty compelling argument for finally dropping Mending Proliferation, since I'll obviously prefer healing a target with this new proc instead. The 4-piece is pretty interesting too. 15% of all healing we do to targets with Chi Harmony is stored, and when Chi Harmony fades or gets refreshed, that stored healing disperses in an even split across everyone with Renewing Mist. Obviously this is going to make keeping 2 points in Dancing Mists extremely important, and it might be fun to game the burst of healing like a mini Cloudburst totem if you're familiar with Resto Shaman. In any case, it'll feel like a much better version of Mending Proliferation. Also related to that, it could turn out that Clouded Focus is even more important in 10.2 than now, if we want to dump healing into one or multiple targets for a bigger burst from the tier bonus. But time will tell, and I'm waiting to see how the tuning washes out. Anyways, that's my update. Hopefully this was interesting or informative to anyone still watching my channel for Mistweaver news. If there's anything I've left out or explained poorly, please let me know and I'll try and do better. I plan to do Heroic Raid testing when they do roll it out, and I might test a bit of Mythic Plus since I'm actually pretty happy and familiar with the Season 3 dungeon pool. Until then, thanks so much for watching. Have a good one.